Whoa, whoa, whoa. Get down, make live. Get down, make live. Get down, make live. Get down, make live. Every time I get hot, say you want to cool down. Every time I get hot, say you want to come down. Say you want it enough. In fact, it's too much. Say you want to go up. I said every time I get down, make live. Get down, make live. Get down, make live. You get down, and you get down, make live. What's going on, everybody? I was listening to that Queen album, I guess. Can you hear me? Can you feel me? Can you touch me? Queen, Tommy, who, I hope everybody's doing well. Looks like lots of folks are in here. What's going on? Gatel's Fish Tube, CC, Asia, Andrew, Cassandra, Aloha, Ollie the Pufferfish, what's up? Wicked Freaking Aquatic, Pond Puppies, Johnny the freaking best, Wicked Freaking Aquatic, what's going on? Case Peloso, what's up? Johnny best. What type of rocks for scape tank for panda loaches? Weathered, like smooth ones. And ideally you want multiple sizes, so like some big like potato, like like a jacketed potato or baked potato size rocks, and then some little like grape size on the smaller end with sand in between. That's probably ideal. You can use aqua soil too. But yeah. Yeah, what do I think of the gold line panda loach? I think they're really adorable. I still think there's nothing quite as spectacular as the original panda loach, and I love that Chang at Moonlight Aquatics is selling them for $13.99 and selling the new ones for $20. The gold line, I'm curious to see how they do in the truly tropical aquarium hobby. I think they might be from a higher elevation and might need to be unheated, quite frankly. Cora, what's up? How's it going? Yes, it's time to grab your Dr. Pepper and say goodbye to the world as you know it. We're about to toss some knowledge grenades. Aqua Balls, George, what is up? Yeti, what is going on? The Yeti. Ian, the aquarium magic man, what's going on? Happy New Year from England. Right on. Right back at you. What, Kitty? The kitty is really on my last kind patience streak. She took, so I left the cabinet open right here next to where I'm sitting, and I popped it open and like grabbed a flatbread out of there. While I was in the kitchen putting some hummus and cream cheese on flatbread and grabbing a soda right before the stream, the cat apparently managed to jump up to the 5th shelf, which is about 4.5, 5, almost 5 feet, probably 4.5 feet. And she grabbed her brand new unopened bag of treats. Soft chew, easy digestible kitten treats. And it weighed 14 ounces, the bag. Well, I came back with my pita ingredients that were non-refrigerated and put them in there. Didn't notice that she took it because she has like a stack of food in there. And she decided to go eat it in the other room, chew through the bottom of the bag, which is like this heavy-duty foil wrap stuff, like to prevent, animals from eating through it, essentially, or at least stall them. And she chews through that and eats all but 9. I don't know why she couldn't finish 9. And then proceeds to have explosive kitty poo-poo all over her box and a trail from the box leading to the potted plant and in the potted plant too. So we're down to like 2 potted plants. She's either eaten them, knocked them over, and broken the pots. I basically took away all the poisonous ones or semi-poisonous ones and put them in other rooms or in the fish room. And yeah, very very frustrated with the kitty right now. I love her. She's frustrating. How are y'all doing? Let's see here. Hey Johnny, what's up, buddy? Also, House of Pisces, GS. What up? You're alive. I'm glad you're alive. I'm glad you're not a ghost walking among us. Cave of Wonders, what's going on? Laban Turner or Laban Turner, and Running Water. What is going on? Yeah, the cat. Her name is Princess Mononoke. No, her name is Sumi. Sumi is a adorable little kitty that drives me insane. Obviously, you saw her jump on my back just now too, and she smells awful because she's still farting from eating so many of those damn treats. Anyways, Cosmic, welcome. Mandarin Gobi, welcome. We got some new faces and places in here, and oh, Donnie Wolf also had 50 plants at one time. We added a couple cats within a year. I'm down to 2. Well, that's what I'm at. Maybe that's the magic number. You can only it's an inverse law where you can only have double the amount of plants that you do cats or something, or no more than 1 cat per whatever. Fish don't fart, and it's a problem. They can actually they bloat because of it, and fish like plecos die because of it. In fact, I actually have messaged Rebecca Bentley. She's about to get her PhD this year, I believe, in ichthyology and Loricariidae taxonomy, and man, I'm gonna mess that word up. Philology. The study of their skeletons, their bones, their cartilage, whatever it may be, and the forms they take and how those branch off, and what is speciation, what is variation, what is collection point, what's variation within the genus, what the different teeth tell us. But she put up a very good video recently, as things have been going around, in particular, the first about bloodworms, then about plecos. And what she mentioned was the fact that we are basically we have no wood-eating plecos. This has been known for 15 years. So morning wood, the food name in now I'm going to space on the name of those foods, but they're good foods. Rapashi and bottom scratcher. Those are great for plecos in general, but they don't. That cellulose that's in there, and a lot of places also use oak tree cellulose, or they guarantee it's some type of wood. And once you refine it down to cellulose, it doesn't matter. 2, if you bought it from a big manufacturer that's selling powdered cellulose or lignin, like, how can you know where it came from for sure? They can tell you one thing, but did you do an assay? Is it still intact? And the answer is no. It's usually like a powdered, purified form of it, which can be used multiple ways. But that basically then leaves you with, well, it's basically what it is. But yeah, plecos don't need lignin whatsoever, and they don't need the wood at all. And so she had a great video about it. And hey, Paul McCarthy, what's going on? And Heavyweight Champ, what's going on? I will get to your question in a moment. But yeah, she had a good talk about that. They've done isotopic analysis of the actual skeleton or cartilage of Loricariidae, every species known, and none of them have been found to incorporate the wood isotopic information, the atomic isotopic data that would be shown in the tests from wood. They just don't eat wood. They pass it through them. Some of them will eat inadvertently rotten wood. And there are two plecos in question, Panache plecos that have very deep bodies. They're big. They're sail fin plecos. They're like 2 feet long. And they eat wood, like seemingly. It looks like they're eating wood. They'll eat chunks off of rotten logs, but they do not incorporate it, nor can they digest it, which is interesting. So no fish yet found can actually digest the wood. It's simply that they're eating the larvae, the little maggots and the worms and the algae and the other things that live right inside that bark layer or the inside rotten layer of rotten wood underwater. Things like freshwater isopods. That would probably be much more along the lines of what they're actually incorporating into their body to become skeletons, or their skeleton of sorts. And same with, Corydoras, Autosynclus, Loricariidae, like the whole Loricariidae complex. And then also, the other thing she mentioned was that there are no true carnivorous plecos other than one or two that are true insectivores, probably, we think. But even in the case of carnivorous plecos, your classic leopard frog pleco, your classic zebra pleco, any of the L333, the stuff that a lot of times gets called carnivorous is at best about 40% insectivore and dead animal eater, dead fish at the bottom, and maybe small live, a frog or something like that here and there. But yeah, they're not carnivores either. So there's a lot of misnomers, and she's done a lot of work on this and research on it. So I wanted to have her on and talk also about the fact that like seeds and fruit and nuts and berries and leaf material, how that is such a critical aspect of a lot of diets of fish. And, it's not necessarily in a lot of fish foods. Those things like fruit is very rarely ever seen in, especially like frozen. And like ripe fruit is something that a surprisingly huge amount of fish have in their gut when they're caught in the wild, and then the stomach contents are analyzed. Anyhow, let's see here. Morowina, what's going on? I would guess that any animal that eats wood needs a fermentation chamber, ruminants, hindgut fermenters to digest cellulose via microbe symbiosis. Very true. There is some truth to the fact that maybe in situ, out in the wild, it could be that they have a gut biome that is much more rich than what we've found in captivity, and that treating them along the way with antibacterials, antifungals, things like that, are wiping those out. And that's why those tests have shown that. But they have done a lot of wild species caught out in the wild, put in a jar, saved, then analyzed. And we still don't see that wood ever incorporated. And that's a good question. I should ask her, and hopefully we can get her live. But, this is a thing where I love letting you guys know what's going on, because you have great questions, which also spark things in my mind too. But like now that leads me to the thought of, well, wait a minute. What does it incorporate as isotopically? Like, what does that show up as in their skeleton, or in their whatever, their tooth pulp, or there's a bunch of places that you can look for it. What does that show up as if bacteria has already disassembled it down from lignin into what? So I'd be really curious about that. But yes, isopods and millipedes do eat wood, or actually more specifically, they eat the fungi that's eating the wood. But fungi, even molds and yeast and things like that, they will incorporate. They will take lignin and cellulose and restructure it into chitin, and that's quite interesting. And chitin is in exoskeletons a lot of times too, so pretty interesting there. Now I need to thank a couple people right quick. Johnny dropped us a big old love fest of 5 new members. You guys, Johnny, thank you, buddy. That you're just, I mean, you did this the other day. Thank you again. I think it's above and beyond. So it's just seriously, thank you, Johnny Best, buddy. I appreciate it. Coro, it's good to see you. I know our schedules probably haven't been lining up so hot lately. Ryan, Stone on Gaming, what's going on? Jupiter One, good to see you guys. Always a pleasure to see y'all back. Junkbox Aquatics, what's going on? This one got me excited. This is me jumping around. Right on. Chesapeake Crustaceans, what's going on? Mandarin Go. Okay, there's a couple questions. Let me kind of get to them, and I'll try not to get too far behind on tangents. Also, thank you so much for the DM Aquatics super chat. That is very, very kind of you. You say, long-time lurker. Keep up the information, or keep the information in 2025. We will. We won't let it escape for many years. It'll stay in 2025. No, thank you. I appreciate it. I love that you're vibing with it and enjoying it. I'm hoping as this channel is kind of rounding a corner towards 100,000, that we can go back to the nerdier stuff again that like helped found this channel, because I kind of have to make some fluffy pieces just so the algorithm will put the things out there and the average fish keeper will watch it. But then what I truly love is our live stream community, our diehard community in the kitty. Sorry, guys. The live stream community, the comments, of course, but the also now we've got the Discord, and then we've also got the Facebook, and there's a lot of places we interact together. But I just really appreciate it. So thank you. And like I said, like that's what I would do if there were no component of this channel that was financial, because unfortunately, this channel has been so successful that it's now how I make a living. And so it's a catch-22, because you start being shaped and colored by, okay, well, I need to make the amount of views as last month or what, you kind of have to start working into this like snowball type avalanche, building and building. And when you get momentum, you lean into it. And sometimes that momentum is not necessarily the kind of videos I want to make. Like right now, I have all the research done to do like an hour-long special on Australian rock weirs that are now proven to be 43,000 years old. Another talk that I could do a 2-hour talk on, but I have done an hour and 15-minute talk on at Seattle Pacific University, is a talk about how hominids, or early human and human-like species, Neanderthal, Homo erectus, Homo habilis, Homo naledi, all these different adjunct and disjunct and also inline relatives of humans, how we kind of surged ahead, and how it's looking more like now they thought fire was the big spark for how humans' brains grew so fast, so large, and Neanderthal brains grew that way as well. And Denisovan as well is another one of the groups that appears to have had good mental acuity. But we also had brains because of protein. Well, now they're finding in new techniques, they're finding a lot of shellfish, a lot of crabs and kelp and stuff from the edge of the water, a lot of stuff from the ocean. And humans, as they started to have skeletons around 2 million years ago that were upright, looking pretty human, not really looking like a caveman or Geico commercial. And by 1 million years ago, we went from a brain that was around 500 cubic centimeters, or like the size of your fist, like a chimpanzee brain is 400 cubic centimeters, all the way up to Neanderthals and Gigantopithecus having brains that were nearly 2,000 cubic centimeters, and humans right around 14 to 1,600 cubic centimeters, or your two hands together in like a fist, basically. And it taking 20% of our calorie intake just to function with our brains. And they're finding that yes, we handled fire, but we also see that this is the exact same time. And I am an archaeologist by training. I am an anthropologist by training. So while I'm not at a university practicing right now or teaching, I do feel like I have skin in the game, and I would at some point possibly even get back into writing a paper about this whole theory of the fish. Okay, so most importantly, I'm going to finish this and then I'll look at questions again. But you guys are here and I want to share something with you. And I also see there's another gift. So thank you so much. I'll address that in one moment. But holy smokes, I think that is actually, I can see right now. Again, that is DM Aquatics with the gift memberships. And I appreciate it. I appreciate Nancy B with the 29-month membership and Cora with the 28-month membership. You guys rock. And just DM Aquatics. Thank you so much. Given the gift of Fishery memberships, you guys can go to the community tab. You can go explore. Now there's 207 episodes of Fishery that are audio based. You can listen to them. Some are 5 minutes long, some are 20 minutes long, but they're these episodes. Some are in most of them are in 3 or 4 packs. So you'll click on Fishery episode 201 through 204 or whatever. And then the longer ones are kind of on their own, but they're in a big playlist called podcasts, and you'll find them and you'll have access to all of them rather than just a little sampling I give the public. And so you can listen to those if you want. They're the news last 4 years, 5 years of fish, the hobby, what I'm researching, anything I find interesting, and news stories related to fish, the hobby, science, freshwater, and brackish water ecology, sometimes ocean stuff. But any case, so back to this thing that I am really passionate about, and I wanted to just kind of go down a little bunny trail because I didn't promise any subject or any topic today, but I did promise some Q&A. So human brain, it rapidly grows from the size of not even a fist all the way up to 2 fists, and also the spinal column, the lower brain, all that stays the same size, but the frontal lobe and the brain matter expands and gets far more complex. The amount of ridges and folds and things like this also get far more complex. So we've wondered for a long time, why did that happen? What sparked it? And some people said, oh, it's because we developed weapons around this time and we started hunting. Well, it's now looking like maybe probably 7, 8 different hominid species that were somewhere around 2-3 million years ago and were bipedal before us and were stronger than us and could eat meat. They could digest raw meat. They had large canine teeth as well in several cases. Think of more like Planet of the Apes baboon men or whatever, or orangutan versus a gorilla in Planet of the Apes. I don't know. It's probably a bad example, but to give you an idea, if you don't have any idea. And they basically, humans were generalists. We ate a lot of scraps. We ate a lot of food. And one of the things that tools allowed us to do was break open bones on animals that were already dead from other large predators. So we did that. and we got access to the bone marrow. Now, on most kill sites, there are a lot of animals that insects and small bugs will end up eating the bone marrow because there are only a very limited amount of predators that are strong enough to break open bone marrow and literally access it, especially in the small bones, which is counterintuitive. But, you know, they could get a femur, break that in half, and then kind of gnaw on it. Whereas it's not worth doing that to smaller bones. So people thought that humans making rocks that could crush and break bones and a hammer stone and an axe stone and skinning animals, this kind of stuff is how we maybe progressed ahead. Then we started making throwing implements and arrowheads, early blades and arrowheads hundreds of thousands of years ago. And Neanderthals were better than humans at planning their stone tools. So Neanderthals would look for a piece of rock. No, sorry guys, the cat just stepped on the keyboard. Would look for a piece of rock that had the characteristics they wanted, and they would break away all the pieces and reveal a blade that they kind of knew was in the center of that rock all along. Whereas humans would take a big old chunk of the right material that breaks easily, and we would just break it over and over, and any sharp blade we'd then pick up and see if we could hold it, and then we'd work a handle for it or whatever. But so anyways, different human-like species, hominids, did different things, but a lot of them use stone tools. So it's not unique. So why did humans get such a huge brain so quickly, or why did Neanderthals? And suddenly we see, a million years ago, we see humans go from that kind of Ethiopia, Kenya, heartland of the upper Rift Valley, upper Nile source kind of region of savanna. And we see all the way up to Israel, all the way out to Morocco, all the way out over in Somaliland and Somalia, all the way down Kenya to Mozambique to South Africa, all the way down thousands of miles. All of a sudden, we see humans showing up in caves and in burial sites and things. And by about 900,000 years ago, there's already at least 5 human-like species out of Africa in the rest of Asia and Europe, already colonizing it before humans. And this is all very new information. We're just now putting this together. But as humans leave Africa, they're doing something very different than some of the other groups, which is they are developing, they're eating meat, they're eating plants, they're eating tubers and roots and insects and things like that. We can't eat a whole lot of raw meat just naturally. You can get enzymes, and we can eat a lot more raw meat than we do in modern day, I would say. But with the exception of fish, it's not necessarily great to eat a whole lot of raw meat. Now, a lot of it won't hurt you or make you sick if you're used to eating it. Like Inuits eat quite a bit of like seal meat, which is a mammal, obviously. But you can get things like trichinosis and food poisoning and all sorts of other issues from eating raw meat. And obviously, when you eat that, it's something that takes a long time to evolve to be able to do. And humans basically had to learn to cook in order to access that, is the theory for a long time. Well, I'm proposing something else, and now we're seeing this, that we were eating fish. We were eating a type of brim, a type of carp, a type of, there was another type of freshwater trout-like species. We actually ran them extinct in several lakes in Israel and also several lakes in the Rift area, several large species of fish. We're talking like 2 to 3 feet, 20, 30-pound fish went extinct right in that period, while cichlids and other things kept living, and some of them get pretty big, and they survived. So humans, we start seeing tech related to possibly nets. The nets have not lasted, But we start seeing this. And so my theory is that they possibly were accessing things like oysters that you can just pick up and eat. I mean, if there's red tide, you're in trouble. But you can, for the most part, pick up and eat that. You can pick up a salmon fresh from a river and eat that. It's sushi, right? And so there are some issues, worms and pests, parasites, things like that. But if you know what you're doing, if it's clean, it's non-industrialized, not like crazy. Also, not to mention that a lot of the unhealthy stuff comes from fish that are sick because of pollution or imbalances in the food pyramid, food web. And so basically we are learning what to eat out of this, plus berries and things. And then you add in fire. Well, the other thing is food moves. The game, almost all hunting and gathering people probably were nomadic, at least some of the time. Well, if you count fish and people being smart enough to eat fish, suddenly you have a protein source that can come to the people on the banks of a lake. And this is where we're seeing settlements like on Lake Malawi, Lake Tanganyika, Lake Victoria region, which Lake Victoria has come and gone many times since humans were around. It's not a true rift lake, but down this whole corridor all the way to South African coastline and over to Cape Town, we have seen humans for 1 million years, and that's when humans got their big brains. That's when humans then figure out how to harness fire. How do we know how humans harnessed fire? We look at the teeth in the throats of fish from Israel that are in giant pits where humans were throwing the bones and food scraps of their community where they were camped out. And we can see when those teeth are heated up to say 500 degrees Fahrenheit or whatever, 200 degrees Celsius, but not 400 degrees Celsius. And they're not burned. They're not just put straight into a fire or stuck on a stick and put in the fire. We can see that they were baked, and we can tell by the crystalline structure in the throat teeth or pharyngeal teeth of fish that use those to break down like algae or tougher things they're eating, plants they're eating, or maybe even other fish they're eating. They have these crushing teeth, and sometimes it's like sandpaper, other times it's like rocks that are bashing together in the fish's throat as a second set of grinding teeth, like molars. And this is what we can look at the enamel of. And when it's heated, it holds a specific crystalline signature. So we can then say, yes, for 10,000 years along this lake, there is a pile, 20 feet deep of fish skeletons and a few antelope and a few this and a few that, like all sorts of different foods. And there's a lot of really carbon and nitrogen rich layers, which probably comes from food scraps. And there's also stone tools and things, and there's leftover ash from fires. But we're finding the pharyngeal teeth in the throat of the fish, meaning that they were buried next to the fire or wrapped in like plantain leaves or something, big leaves, and then set next to the fire or boiled, but they were not incinerated. So humans had technology that proves they had access to fire, and it means they had consistent access to fire, at least at these sites that they're finding these teeth from fish. And that's been the missing link to show, yes, humans had fire. Before that, we can't say for sure that they were controlling the fire. We could say maybe they grabbed some lightning from a forest fire, leftover burns. That's probably where we first got it. But we also find things like pictures later on, 50,000 years ago, of very specific fungi where they're holding embers in the fungi. There's a specific fungi called a torch fungi. It's also called old man of the forest. It's also called shelf fungus. But it's basically made out of the wood of a rotten log, and it will burn because it lives on old growth dead logs. And it's thick, it's big, all those, the artisan conch or the conch fungi. And they would use those, they'd carve out a little hole in it, and they could put a hot ember in there, And by blowing on it every half hour or so, they could keep that lit for up to 2 or 3 days and walk around with fire. Not to mention torches and other methods, but we've known that for a while. So it's very interesting to me how fish maybe not, it may be long before agriculture that fish and fish spawning was the reason humans got together collectively, was the reason we had a surplus of food and then could do other things like make little decorative beads and things like that that we think as quintessentially human. The reason why we had time to bury our dead. And I'm sure it's a little bit of everything, but I have to think fish are a big part of it. And I wonder sometimes if that's why things like the studies they've done with PTSD, with stress, with anxiety, they find that when humans are looking at a fish tank, even if they've filled out a survey and from 1 to 10, they rate, I dislike fish, they stress me out, their blood pressure drops 10 to 15%. Some cases it was 20, 25% drops in heart rate and blood pressure, especially if people were nervous. Same with prisons, same with police stations. They've had fish tanks there. It reduces violence. It reduces theft. They don't know why. I mean, they don't know why exactly, but we have some inherent link to nature, possibly to fish, but either a colorful reef tank or a planted tank, preferably. Doesn't work quite the same just having like goldfish or koi, although that does help. It seems to be like when you see some sort of an ecosystem or rich abundance of life makes us feel calm, like, okay, there's food or there's options here. Maybe that's where it comes from. Okay, sorry guys, long tangent, but you're hanging with me and I appreciate that. So I actually, what I'm going to do, because I don't know who's still here after such a long 15-minute or whatever tangent, I want to, Morwina, I appreciate your John Green wrote Everything is Tuberculosis. I have read that book. I like that book. There's a book about salt that's kind of like that. There's a book about the number 0 that traces events in history to that. It's amazing when you pick one thing that you love, how often you can see. It's like that movie, The Number 23, I think it's called, where is it Jim Carrey starts seeing the number 23 everywhere in the world, and it's like you'll see it if you're looking for it. But yeah, I do wonder sometimes if I'm just doing that. But at the same time, I find very interesting papers being published by people who don't really seem to give a damn about fish in particular. They just are like, oh, cool, we can use their teeth for dating methods, which, you know, always archaeologists always want more dating methods. They want to date things 20 different ways to be sure, which I'm all for. I think that's great. But if you had a question and I missed it, I do apologize. But now we are here. Okay, Johnny best rocks for Panda Loach tank setup. As I was saying, I did mention a little bit earlier, but I will mention it again, which is the best rocks are potato-sized rocks, a couple of those, then some smaller rocks. You can use a couple flat or angular kind of rocks if you want, like quartz or granite or whatever, marble, because those are good at getting diatom algae on them, like a flat surface. But the rounded like river rocks, you can just go down to a river, and basically if you can't scratch it with a piece of glass, you know there is nothing that could be harmful in that rock. In fact, you know, if a nail doesn't scratch it, that's pretty much safe for sure too. You know, those are hard rocks, quartz, basalt, igneous, things like that. You know, it's not a problem. If it's not leaving a little gouge, you'll be good. But I would say then you want some like grape size ones and maybe 1 or 2 golf ball size ones. So basically a variation of a variety of rounded river rocks, and then some sand, or what's best is coarse sand, then some finer sand in between and even a few little plants, maybe some val or a couple crypts, something like that in between. But basically, wood is good too. And then the other thing that's kind of good that they don't talk about on many sites is broader leaf plants, but like sword plants or things like that. Those do pretty well because they also gather the algae and the biofilm on the wide surface. And the main thing with panda loaches is you need to give them lots of different options for grazing, because they'll graze a spot, they'll miss a spot, they'll graze a spot, the other one will come along, and they graze very ineffectively. Autosynclists, sometimes you can see them kind of go up and down a glass, and they'll kind of hang out in one corner for the day. Panda loaches are like drunk drivers when it comes to how they eat algae. All right, let's see here. Corey Dora, what's up? Let's see here. House of Pisces, disappointed turtle, illegal in UK since Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles rerun. Oh no. Yeah, they're making a lot of turtles and tortoises illegal in the US as well. My newest setup has round river cobbles as the main stones. I'm loving it. Yeah, no, I like them too, and I think they're not in enough aquascapes. Everybody wants like angular stones or Swiss cheese stones or stones with pretty banding, and it's cool. I admit it, but now there's so many examples of it that it's not like a rare thing to see. It's like the norm. And so I think like the rounded river rocks that anybody can go to a river and go find, especially in North America and Northern Europe, or any part of Europe, actually, for that matter. The rivers bring what the glaciers scoured out, that glacial till, and that had sometimes boulder-sized chunks from a mountain range like 400 miles up the road, and it would just, move it all down with a 3-mile tall sheet of ice, and underneath it, it's pushing that, and it literally like a massive bulldozer, it would push all that into these places, and then rivers would flow and cut through from the glaciers melting, and it would build up these banks of sand and then sandstone. And the sandstone probably hasn't formed yet, honestly, time-wise, from the most recent glaciation, but there's been a million years of glaciation. We're in a glaciation period right now, actually. We're just in a intermittent part of it, and we're in the warm part of a swing in between glaciation periods, and we'll see how warm it gets. Hello, my wife. The cat has been terrible today. She had a real tummy upset from eating that entire bag on the counter over there of her soft treats, which led to an entire litter box of soft you-know-what, and her just meow, meow, meowing. She hasn't had dinner. Just said so she hasn't had dinner. This happened like an hour ago. She had like 2 pounds of cat food or cat treats. No, I think it's 14 ounces. So she literally had a pound of cat treats. It's over. She left 9. She's not like sick. She just threw it up and had bathroom tummy issues because she ate a pound of food at once. Okay, sorry guys. Just informing my wife of our daughter and what she's done. We're going to be those sick people in the head that are like, our daughter is better than your daughter. She has 4 legs. Your daughter only has 2. So what's going on, guys? Mick, I know what you're talking about. Lots of rocks over here. Yeah, no, Europe has lots of good rocks. So does America. Europe has lots of good minerals, though, and so does America. But America's minerals are like in the Southwest mostly, a little bit in like the Ozarks and stuff, some in the Appalachians. But yeah. Alex, we know you ate the food, not the cat. Oh no. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, guys. It's all been an elaborate plan. Honey, are we going to eat dinner or are you going to eat that? I can't have both the women in my life eating food other than dinner plans. And then I get done with this and I'm like, Meow, I want dinner. And you're like, oh, I already ate. I already ate.
It's rough being
a YouTuber.
Helpless man.
I am a helpless man. Well, I go get like fish and chips and you're like, you're eating crap. Or I eat bread. I eat bread like a bird. You guys, I'm a bird. I bought 200 pounds of rocks for 45 bucks from the local rock yard. That's the way to go, George, for sure, man. You guys can do that landscaping rock. A lot of it is identical to the junk you buy in a fish store. Now, granted, like Dragonstone, stuff like that, some of that is pretty good. But I mean, like $8.99, $7.99 a pound. Get out of here. That is highway robbery. I was selling for a time. I was selling jadeite, which is a really pretty. It's a bluish or greenish colored rock, quartzite and jadeite. And then jade too. I had blue jade from the Cascade Mountains, from an area called Oso, O-S-O. Actually, is the deadliest landslide in American history. Killed like 58 people, I think, about 10 years ago. But when this whole mountain slid down, a lot of the glacial till was just exposed, and there is jade that has been tumbled and is smooth, and some of it has fallen and broken, and the way it breaks is in really interesting patterns. Because little known fact, a diamond is not the hardest to break material. A diamond is somewhat brittle. Now, a diamond is the hardest on the Mohs scale, natural mineral or element, followed by corundum, or basically your high quality sapphires. But your actually hardest gem or rock or mineral is jade as far as breaking goes. It's tensile and twisting and torque strength and all that. Jade is the hardest, which is interesting because in China, jade is worth more, like good quality jade, than diamonds. Maybe not like gram for gram, but big pieces of jade have gone more than big diamonds overall. Alex, which rocks leach minerals into the water? Mostly soft stuff. So stuff that's soft enough. It'd be great if you had an antler handy, but I'm sure most people don't have an antler handy. If you have even a chicken bone, maybe something like bone or antlers that you can test with, if you can scrape that rock with it, there's a good chance that it's going to be something like sandstone, siltstone, limestone, and that it may have alkaline properties, depending on where you are in the world or the country. If it reacts to salicylic acid or vinegar, salicylic acid, why did I say that? You can use a number of acid, any acid. You could use vinegar, but it would have to be a very reactive stone for vinegar to work. I think, hold on, now it's gonna bug me. Let me check real quick. Let me check my facts, ladies, ladles and jelly spoons. Acid for rock test. Boy, that search I'm sure is going to give me what I want by searching those words. I'm not going to get any Grateful Dead search results. Hydrochloric acid, that's what it is. Hydrochloric acid, you can get little vials of it cheap online, or at the hardware store you can get it even cheaper for like finishing floors, slab floors and stuff. But basically you put a drop of that on it, and if it fizzles, then you know not to put it in your tank unless you're trying to get really, really hard water. Now, the interesting thing, like for panda loaches, for instance, is they come from limestone bedrock in a region where it's all snow and glacial meltwater and rainwater, monsoon season water. and it is massively devoid of anything in the water when it falls up in the mountains. And they are in the mountains, not the high mountains, but they're around 1,500 meters, something like that. Potentially especially the newer Panda loaches, the golden ones. And it's like subtropical there because of the elevation change, whereas down at 500 feet above sea level or whatever, it's going to be, or what would that be? I don't know, 170 feet, 170 meters above sea level. That would be tropical. But because of that, oh, thank you, Chesapeake Crustaceans. That is a great tip. If that's true, and I would believe it's true. I know it's an acid. I can't remember which it is for sure, but I think you're right. The number 2 on the API test kit for nitrates works for rocks in that test. I think you're right. I think that is hydrochloric acid. Muriatic acid does work as well. I mean, carbonic acid, humic acid, they would all work. Anything that's got the potential to leave a little welt on your skin is basically okay to use to test it. But be aware of that. Don't spill it on yourself without having something to neutralize it or rinse off your hands afterwards. But yeah, vinegar. Yeah, vinegar might, but the thing is, vinegar is only going to react to really strongly alkaline rocks, like 9.5 or something high. If it's in like the 8.5 range, it probably won't react to vinegar. Also, yeah, the water, if you're doing tests with certain things or whatever, it depends on the water chemistry. But yes. So Sirius stone oftentimes does raise the KH and the TDS a bit. It can raise the pH also. It depends on the Sirius stone. It also depends on that banding in it. Is it quartz banding, or is it something that's very similar to the original Sirius stone from Japan, from the Siriu Islands? Is that where it's from? And or is it calcium carbonate or some sort of crystalline calcium base, or like what's the crystal made out of? But it could be a calcium or a salt, of some sort. And a lot of Chinese knockoff Sirius stone exists out there. And that's why it's good to test stuff, unless it's from like ADA or UNS or whatever, where you are kind of paying way too much for it. There is that potential, and it is worth testing. But yeah. You have Nancy B from Tennessee says, it depends on your water chemistry to start with. I have a KH of 6, so minerals dissolve much slower than they would in Alex's water. Correct. Yeah, I have a KH of 0 out of my tap water. I drink glacial or snow melt and rainwater in Seattle, basically. There are people who live on wells here in Seattle, though, and some of them have pretty hard water because yes, indeed, there is limestone here as well. Washington has crazy geology right where Seattle is and where the Olympic Peninsula is, because the elevation goes from sea level to 1,000 feet in Seattle alone, basically. I think it's like 700 feet, but whatever. Queen Anne Hill comes right out of the water, and the water drops off another 2,000 feet down there in the center of the Puget Sound. So there's like a 3,000 foot slice of earth to look at different, ages. And this makes a big difference. Mick says, don't forget to hit that like button. I agree. Wicked freaking aquatics. We need that huge. Oh, yeah, never mind. I get it. Volcanic rock is inert. Usually, not always. There are some weird exceptions, but yeah, you're usually right. 99.9% of the time, you right. let's see here. House of Pisces or Dr. Pepper. Yeah. I don't know why, but I like pulling Dr. Pepper like there's no tomorrow once in a while. Just take just a swig out of it like it's a, I don't know, like a PBR or something back in college. It's because I have no fun. I have no life, guys. I read research on ketamine and fish for fun. The cat bit you? We'll hit her in the face. Guys, we don't hit our cat. That was a joke. We kick her. Let's see here. Natatuma. Okay. Oh, I'm not getting any comments anymore. It must be my silly, silly computer and internet. I probably got to refresh, reload. All right. Did Felix become a new member and I didn't realize it? Because thanks. I appreciate that, buddy. And welcome to the fold. Yeah, that coat is scary. Take it off, honey. Pow, right in the kitty kisser. That's right. Straight to the moon, Sumi. One of these days, straight to the moon. She's going to chew that off in a second, honey. Pull it away. Pull it away. Honey, pull it away. Quick. I'm dead serious. She will ruin that. She will chew those headphones in half in 2 bites. I had her do it to my other pair. That cat has some sharp little teeth, and she ruins things quickly. She can chew through a cat palm, the big old palms that are like 6. Yeah, she killed all. We've already talked about that. Somebody else said they have 2 cats and they used to have 50 plants, and now they have 2 plants left. Yeah. Are you going for a walk?
Yeah.
You guys think she's bright enough?
I'm safe.
She's in that reflective yellow. You should say, "Can you help me, sir? Where is the construction site on 155th and 80 millionth Street?" She's trying to eat your headphones. Do not allow that cat near the headphones. She's going to eat. See, she's going to chew them. She can do it in 1 bite or 2 bites, honey. Bye. Didn't I just buy you super fancy headphones for Christmas?
I'm not charged.
All right, you guys. Hello and welcome back to our show. I'm surrounded by crazy people, a crazy woman and a crazier cat. It's my wife, Laura. Mick says, I have some great rounded red sandstones I use in a Breek biotope tanks. I love them. Is that word supposed to be creek or brook? I'm confused. Is Breek a word? I don't know. Or Greek. Tanks, I love them, coming from glacier ice age activity. I believe turning rocks till they are worn down and round. Yep. Running water, Seattleite bumblebee. Yeah, that's right. Hey, it's Julio. What's up, man? Alex, any rice fish strand you're looking at this year? Yeah, the lame patterns. Any lame, spelled like lame, Lame, but it's pronounced lame. Any lame patterns? Beautiful. I think there's some really cool like Miyuki, which is blue in Japanese, blue and platinum crosses that look beautiful. They're like electrically sparkly, and they look kind of like a polar cichlid, or Arctic blue cichlids. Those the convict cichlid cross with the parrot. I don't know what I actually don't know for sure what the cross is, but yeah. Let's see here. Yep, you meant Creek was what. Yeah, okay, yeah. A soccer player in England got the legal verdict to pay £25,000 to a cat home after filming him kick a cat at home. Don't. Oh wow, wow. Well, serves him right. Screw that. Um. Oh, you only have the platinum Miyukis. Are you serious, Asya? Well, okay. I I like them. I think that they should be more popular. I also think that the longfin should be. I think they should all be more popular, just like native fish. I've been predicting this the last few years in my annual fish rundown, which hopefully I'll have out in the next day or two. But I've been kind of toying with like, do I really think the any of the glowfish Pleco or the glowfish Neocaridina? I think they'd prefer Amanos because people won't breed the Amanos, whereas they would breed the heck out of a glowfish shrimp, and then that gene would be all over the place. But I'm kind of trying to finalize that list also, and have not just say native fish, for instance, but say like these 5 shiners or whatever, just to kind of clue in on the actual species, so I can have some pictures and stuff. But the Lame galaxies, yes, they're really beautiful. Also like the long fin. Any of the sparkly ones, I think those are popular, and I don't like the balloon body ones, but I'm sure those will be popular eventually. They're popular in Japan. And also I think, um, you know, there will be a level of whatever's hardy will be popular just because I'm sure specialists already are in search of rice fish and are keeping them somewhat. But the people who are really just wanting to keep like a species of rice fish. Maybe they have a fish room. Maybe they have a couple tanks and they just, want like one pond tank out in their yard. They're just such a freaking easy and versatile fish when they're a pretty natural varietal. That like the long fin kind get infections easily. The balloon type have all sorts of stomach problems where they bloat and die. They also have eyes that don't form a lot of the time. So there's all these like genetic issues with how quickly a lot of people are trying to breed some of the rice fish. And a lot of people in Asia are trying to, like the Chinese are trying to quickly breed what the Japanese have bred over 300 years. And they're trying to catch up because in some cases they don't allow the export from certain provinces, for instance, of certain genetics that a certain family came up with. And it's kind of like their, lucky fish or whatever, kind of like koi were it for a while. But yeah. Kristen Cooper, well, thank you very much. You learned a lot from the channel. Well, I appreciate that. I learned a lot from you guys, and you guys having me make content, which, I make it for you guys, also encourages me to learn. So I can like honestly say y'all have made me learn so much. My life revolves around this stuff now, which is incredible. If the rice fish are indoors right now, just increase the light over 13 hours. They will breed now, so you have more by spring to put out. Ah, very nice. Great little tip there. Oops, sorry. Great little tip there, Ollie the pufferfish. I appreciate it. Oh, dang. Species of aqua escapes. Secret import from Japan. Do you have the pink ones? You have the pink ones. If you have the pink ones or the true glow ones that are not glow fish, that are the red glows from the Yakuza fiasco, oh boy, I would love to have you email me at Alexander J. Williamson so I could tell you how you shouldn't have those fish or give them, you sell them to me. Wow, you got a whole lot, Cece. You got a lot of types. That's very cool. I wish I had more Medaka again. You know, I had a few for a time, put them outside. They were doing great. You know, there was a year that Aquatic Arts was featuring Medaka after Medaka after Medaka, and I had a bunch, and they did great. Then I had that summer that got to like 115 degrees Fahrenheit in Seattle. What is that, like 43 Celsius or something crazy? And it just destroyed all my outdoor fish. And then I had, you know, something else happen like that again, another year, whereas Seattle had never seen a day over 98, I think it was. In city limits, and now we're seeing 100 and something the last 5 years every year for like over a week straight. So things have definitely changed in the microclimate lately here in Seattle. um, yeah, Cassandra says, I personally don't like the balloon or Daruma ones. I saw a bunch in Japan and they just look yikes. Yeah, I know. Clean. August, hello. I'm going to Tokyo next week. Any fishy recommendations? I don't really know like what shops Tokyo has that are big right now. ADA, I would of course go to, but I would say they have a lot of. I mean, I've sure seen a lot of cool videos of their shops there. Maybe somebody else has some advice. Maybe Cassandra or somebody who's been to Japan has some advice. I've never been. I'd love to go. I got invited to go to Papua New Guinea recently, but my health will not allow going to the most remote place in the world, essentially. Maybe Greenland would and or Antarctica would be worse. Meow. Well, stop walking on the keyboard if you don't want me to pick you up and squeeze you. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, going to Tokyo, that'll be fun. Pro Glow. New member, Kristen Cooper. That's a slow, dramatic clap. Welcome aboard. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Cheers to you. This bud's for you. Isn't that what their old slogan was? House of Pisces are glowfish that different from overline bred, inbred fish for unnatural colors. Wait. Yeah, oh, we won't go into. I'm not going to get into the glowfish debate today. I could, but I'm not going to. Gerald, thank you, buddy. Found your videos very helpful. I have a 20-gallon with 30-watt LED 500K or 5000K light. How do you like the 5000K? I use 6000 or 6500 usually. I find that it holds algae back a little bit better and helps flowers kind of bloom like Boost or Anubias. If I'm really trying to bloom something, I'll put it right below the surface underneath the light, like directly. But I'm just curious. I like the glow of the bluer light in the aquarium. But my wife, for instance, she likes, like, in our kitchen, we've got 3000 Kelvin lighting, which to me is like way too red or fake feeling. It feels like sunset or something. Um, uh, I like secret fish. I bought red caps last year, but pattern did not breed true. I have not had a patch of red caps where they bred true. I've had about 50% from the Aquatic Arts red caps that I bought, but they weren't claiming they were a line. You know, they didn't say like red cap line. It just said red cap Medaka. And then it did mention something in the long description about like, hey, we can't promise these will breed true, blah, blah, blah. I saw some pink ones in Japan. They were beautiful. Wish bringing them home was on the plane was practical. Yeah, I know. The eggs are very easy to ship. I mean, they don't hatch for like 20 days usually. So, and they'll travel well in an API test kit vial. I mean, you can just put them in there with a little bit of methylene blue. I don't even think you need the methylene blue, honestly. Maybe just change the water a couple times with this tad bit of chlorine in it. Yeah, I'm not the expert on smuggling fish eggs, though. Yeah, rice fish tubs gotten into the 90s with no losses. See, Nancy, that's awesome. Mine didn't make it past 90, which bummed me out. I did have some, I had a few that did, but most did not. And then birds finished them off. And I think the problem was that once there weren't a large number of them, it was easy for the birds to see the ones that were there and swoop in and grab the last like 8 or 9 or whatever there were, rather than 50. Like a bird couldn't seem to pick one. Like they'd swoop down and they'd sit on the edge, but they'd all just go hide under lily pads and stuff, and it was fine. In Tokyo, you should go to the aquarium cafes. Yeah, those are really cool. I've seen pictures of those. Johnny Best says, first time I seen your Phoenix Rasbora content, you got me hooked. The next day, I love how you make content like that. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, Phoenix Rasboras are one of my favorite Rasboras. I think they're as good, if not better, than chili rasboras for color once they're happy, once they're in their zone. And I just like that they have more than one color. Like chili rasboras may be just more intense because they're all one crazy red, intense color. Pinkish red, fiery red. But the Phoenix can be kind of orange. They can be kind of purpley, like red with crimson. They can really have some subtleties and slightly different patterns even too. Mike, welcome. I've got 6 rice fish in an indoor patio pond. I don't heat it. They live at room temp 72 to 78 throughout the day. They seem to be doing well. Right on. You must be in like Cali or some part of the world where it's warm a lot, because it's like 32 degrees here right now, 35 degrees here right now. Let's see here. You're a Medaka breeder. I love importing rare Medaka eggs. I have a few connections to really cool Medaka varieties. I'm waiting until spring to grab a bunch more. Oh, right on. Medaka breeder, who is on Facebook. That's just the name. There might be more than one, but Medaka breeder, and then he's got like, I think Japanese rice fish is like what his logo said. He sent me 14 eggs or something like that at one point. Just assorted eggs. He just took a little clutch of assorted eggs that were in one of his egg, what do you call it? I don't know. Egg hatching racks. And I liked what hatched out of it. They were all kind of like little mismatched guys. And some of them had that blonde color that I really love, that like really soft kind of golden tannish brown, like a bronzy color, more of a brassy or bronzy color with silver and then black spots, like the calico kind of look. Those are really nice. Do Medaka look good from the side? Yes, they look great from the side. Some look great from above, which I think is really cool. The Japanese, historically, the idea was to see them from above and have them in a shallow dish that was opaque, so you couldn't really see them from the side. So there are some strains that were not focused. The focus was not on the side of the fish; it was on the top. But it's actually kind of hard to get the top of the fish to look a certain way. Same with the inkoi and goldfish, because the genetics, you have a line down the middle of any vertebrate creature. And there's everything from chimeras to like just the symmetry of a creature is very rarely perfect or very rarely even. And although most creatures have semi-symmetry or general symmetry, they don't have, like, if they're black all over and there's subtle variations in the black tone, it'll probably be splotchy and maybe from above, it'll be more noticeable than from, you look at the left side of the fish, you look at the right side. Fish don't generally have like a split left to right when you're looking at the profile. It really just down. I suppose the lateral line could serve as such a thing, but developmentally it ends up being like that. Terry LaPierre, hello, my friend. Good to see you. And Beto Great Lakes, good to see you. Gen X Heart, what up? Good to see you. Also, Harrymon, what's up? What's up? What's up? I answered your question, but what's up? Been around a while. How's your leg? My leg, oh boy, gliving. All right, this is your warning. Look away if you're scared of blood and gore. It's not like that bad. It's just a little boo boo. But if you don't want to see an injury that they've been working on now, I got a puncture wound, and the puncture wound got infected. Then I went to the hospital. Then I ended up going to home and being on antibiotics forever. And then they put me on the wrong antibiotics when I went into the ER and said, I think I'm having a secondary infection again. And my immune system luckily held things off from going septic again. But right as I got in December, it had been 2.5 months before I could get into a wound clinic. And the surgeons who had operated on me, nor the care team that I had seen, would have anything to do with me. Like, I was out of, critical care or whatever. So they're done with you after that. And I get it from like their point of view as their workflow and doctors and stuff, but it's really frustrating that then you get referred to a specialist for an issue that needs treatment within days, oftentimes, or could turn deadly within days. And you go to the ER and they say it's not bad enough. You go to a normal doctor and they say go to the ER or go to the hospital. That's rough. But here, let me show you guys what's up. So I'm going to show you what it looked like about, what was this, 2 months ago? Three. So this is what it looked like right after Thanksgiving. Come on. Where did that picture go? And I'll say, guys, it's all clear. You can watch again if you're not grossed out by cuts and stuff. But where'd it go? Where'd that picture go? I'm so confused. So also my legs, the swelling and stuff went down. You can see there from my knee. But I don't know if you can see that redness right there. The redness never went away, and my tattoos, they've almost all rejected. I had full color tattoo on one side. Oh yeah, here you can see it better. And all the color, the back shading has fallen out of this like abstract swirly tattoo that I had. And same with here, this tattoo, it actually had like a full sunset scene with mountains and like purple haze of a sunset. And there's like a little moon that's missing now. And there's supposed to be trees and mountain and all that. And now there's just the gray wash at the bottom and the darkest black outline. The crow was actually a deep, deep blue and purple. All of it, the infection and or an allergic reaction just rejected it. And I was so upset because I've had some of those tattoos over 20 years now. And to have them just reject like that is, I mean, it's a part of you. And then my very first tattoo ever, right there, it is a trout jumping, but I practice it on my thigh. So fish have been a big part of my life forever. Yeah, forever. Anyhow, the foot wound, I'm gonna just skip it if I don't find that picture in the next 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. So this is what it looked like when I got out of the hospital and for the next 2 months. it just looked like a hole in the foot. It looked like I had stepped on a freaking nail. And you can see there's like fresh skin there that's kind of gross. But that's what it looked like, and I'm sticking to it. So then when time went by, this is when it got infected. So look away if you're grossed out by this. But it actually, the hole got the size of a dime, or about the size of maybe the end of my thumb, and it got infected. And I could tell it was all hot and it hurt, and it was getting deeper rather than healing. So I was like, guys, help me. Like, I went to the ER like 4 times. I went to a walking clinic a number of times. I was so frustrated. This is how swollen my foot got. That's from a sock being on. Just see that ring there, and then the ring around the foot. I mean, it was scary. This was in December, and luckily things are a little better now. But I had a cellulitis issue, and luckily it's not my, like, they've done a lot of testing on my heart and on my A1C. All that stuff's great. My cholesterol is like non-existent. My blood sugar is great, super low, but not like scary low, like good low. And the reason also, by the way, that the feet look dirty is they basically said that with the lupus that I have a variation of psoriatic arthritis. So it's also why my fingers always look super dirty. I mean, sometimes they're dirty from being in the aquarium, but anything that I use a lot, I get a callus, and it then cracks. My dry skin cracks. But okay, here's what they just did surgery on like 5 days ago. Look away again if you're really scared, but then it's a hole. Like, the doctors literally just cut away more, and now it's like this big, and I can't walk on my foot. My whole foot, my whole leg up to my knee is in a soft cast now, and I'm supposed to ride this scooter all the time if I'm not sitting. And I'm not a sitter. I'm a pacer. I'm a doer. I'm a go out and explore the worlder. And it just pisses me off to no end that this has gotten so complicated, and whatever. So anyhow, I shouldn't be drinking Dr. Pepper. Sugar is bad for infections. That's the end of my PSA. Okay, guys. Amber Pepper, welcome, new member. Thank you. It's great to have you. I think you'll fit in well. The PTA meetings are a swinging fun time. Yeah. Pet leeches, man. Dude, I've thought about that too. And yeah, feet take a long time to heal. I know. Everybody at first was like, ooh, diabetes, eh? And I'm like, no, you guys just won't give me the right antibiotics. And literally, the doctor was like, I had the same doctor managing this stuff. And so I went into a different hospital, like completely owned by a different company. And I was like, give me gram-negative antibiotics. And they're like, well, it looks like the last doctor did a culture and thinks gram-positive ought to do it. And I said, they're gram-negative. Out of the 11 bacteria present, 9 are gram-negative. Give me a broad spectrum or give me a gram-negative antibiotic. And they're like, I think he's the doctor here, and I think you're a little out of your lane getting so upset, sir. You can take another course of this or not. So he put me on 3 weeks of the damn medicine. It did nothing. I'm lucky I didn't end up in the hospital. Finally, I go back to the wound clinic that I got referred to, and to the allergist/immune doctor at the university in Seattle, at Washington, University of Washington. And the doctor goes, oh my God, you've been seen 4 times and they never gave you gram-negative antibiotics? And I'm like, I have emails and letters to prove that I have been complaining. And he's like, this is unreal. So yeah, pretty crazy. Yeah, Alex's next tank, medical leeches. Nancy, I think maybe, or those beetles that eat like that clean bones. I'll just get them to get rid of everything. That's insane. Can't imagine what it must be like. Looks, yeah, that's the other thing is, so the doctor I'm seeing now, he's just not the night. He doesn't have a good bedside manner, but he came in and immediately poked it with a metal like a dental tool type thing, and starts like digging around, and I'm like, "Ah," and he's like, why can you feel that? He's like, diabetes has neuropathy. I'm like, I don't have diabetes. And he's like, what? Why do you have this wound? And I'm like, because the doctors haven't treated it right for 3 months, 2 months. Oh God. And yes, the best surgeons are assholes. I agree totally. And Phillips, yeah. Anytime you talk about the American healthcare system, I lose more faith, bro. You're telling me, man. I also had United Healthcare just came over, or came over. I called them, and the people said you need to get a scooter just to get off your feet for at least the next 2 months. Like, get off that foot or it won't heal. They wouldn't cover it. I had to buy that off Amazon for $200 or whatever. Then bandages. They wrapped it in bandages and they denied my bandages, Ace bandages and gauze, because they said that was disposable luxury items for treating a wound, and that gauze and a band-aid of a lower quality should suffice. And the doctors were just shocked. I mean, I pay $780 a month to my wife's company to get health care. So it's not cheap like state or quote unquote Obamacare. It's just like unreal. I don't know why they use United Healthcare, but don't, if you ever have a choice, do not get United Healthcare. It is awful. They are known for being just terrible. I won't rant about it forever, but I mean, so many people. It's like we're talking about the fish hobby, and we've got people from all different walks of life, and it's like one thing we can all agree on is if you live in the U.S. and you've had United Healthcare, you know they suck. Yeah. If that scooter was Walmart furniture mode, same made of the same materials, be $35. It was made of pretty cheap materials. It was I didn't get it through like a medical thing. I got it through Amazon. It was from, it might have been through Walmart or whatever. It was through some big vendor that sells them as like novelty scooters so you can ride. And I'm using it for my knee. But you can sit on it. That's the point. But yeah, highfalutin bandages. That's right. So yeah, don't do anything rash about it. Well, I think someone already did something rash about United Healthcare, so I can't do it again. But yeah. Let's see. My mom has dementia and she was extremely bad pain, and her doctor won't give her pain medicine. Says she just that makes me so mad too. Same with like people with cancer, because it's like, what are they going to get addicted and then from the grave go rob pharmacies and go cop on the street? Like for anything terminal or anything like Alzheimer's, like give people whatever they want. I don't care. Give them X for all I care, you know. Let's see here. Um, bu- 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 oh boy, Mick. Uh, Darb wire. That's like barbed wire, but different. Hello, thanks for the horizontal stream. Oh, you got it. You know, I had to come back to this once in a while. Johnny Best. United Healthcare sucks. That's why the CEO here here in New York and somebody took him out in broad daylight for the same reason you said they suck. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's crazy stories, but I mean, yeah, they're the reason I've owed over $100,000 in the last decade. I had them when I did have like for a short time I did have like quote unquote Obamacare through the state exchange because I made less than 70 grand, I think was the cutoff. So I had to like buy it, but it was only like 500 a month or 400 a month. But I had like no co-pays. Like it was actually pretty good because it was the state subsidizing it. Then everything changed. I got married, our bracket went up, and the care went way down. So it's just it's such a crazy, stupid system. Somebody needs to, they need to fix it. I don't care if it's all privatized or it's all publicly government run. I don't care if it goes totally to the right, totally to the left, but it can't stay where it's at. It shouldn't be that they make 300 billion, actually 258 billion dollars in profit last year off of insurance claims. It used to be like a break even. We make about $25 million a year business until that CEO took over, which is crazy. And then they became the most profitably public traded insurance company out there. Because their plan was to illegally deny every claim automatically until people argued it, and then they try to deny it again. Okay, I'm done. Right on, Elaine. I'm glad to hear that your grandson and your daughter are getting care they need. I am of the belief that we should teach everyone that wants to learn and puts the effort forth, and we should also take care of people, especially, like, I don't know, some things are elective. I get it. Like, we shouldn't give people nose jobs, okay? But anything that's out of your control, for sure, like, seems like a no-brainer to me that, like, we're the richest country in the world. Let's get on board with that. I mean, there's clearly 62 countries poorer than us in theory, and per capita you could debate that, whatever. But regardless, even if, it's just okay. I'm done. I'm sorry, guys. I'm too frustrated. I'm done. Healthcare is a civil right. Fish homies. I agree. Philip Skipper. I agree. Skipper, that's just you, right? Is that just good old Skipper, my buddy, old pal? Or is this a new Philip Skipper than the Fish Fam Skipper that we all know? Well, I'm not saying people don't know you. I'm just saying that there was a very active paramedic or aid car paramedic first responder that had the name of you. Oh, yeah. Okay, you are a different Skipper. Well, okay. Hello, Skipper. I'll vent to you just the same. Different person. No worries. Well, it's all good. I like the cut of your jib. Thanks, Fish Fam Link. What do we have likes wise, guys? Okay, if you haven't given a like and you sat here and you've sucked up my energy like some sort of energy craving little vampire succubus, click that like button, please. Like Nosferatu. My wife says like Nosferatu. I haven't seen the movie. I don't really like good movies. Good movie. That's you got to go, Mandarin Gobi. Well, I got to go too. So I'm gonna get out of here unless anybody has a crazy urgent question or anything like that, and I'll be back on Friday, and I might even do a morning stream this week because I feel like I have been a little behind on streams lately of substance. Broke your ribs. Aetna paying for one decent pain med. They paid a ton if copays for a bunch. If junk, I don't. Oh yeah. Oh no, it screwed up your kidneys. Yeah, that is a bummer. Alex, if I'm planting crypts in a seasoned gravel tank, should I gravel back or just leave the mulm? I would probably leave the mulm unless it's like way above the gravel. If it's way above the gravel, it's just going to kind of get kicked up and float around. And you probably have bacteria that's working on it. It probably isn't like some big ammonia locked region yet. It depends on how deep your gravel is too. If your gravel is any deeper than say an inch, then definitely don't gravel back it. If it's only an inch and you can see the bottom by just scooting like a couple rocks aside, you can gravel back it if you want, because there's just not that much space for like nutrients there. And in that case, you're going to want to use some sort of liquid nutrient, because crypts, while yes, they can live in gravel, that is essentially floating the crypt. So more demanding crypt species won't do as well. So they need a root tab or a liquid fertilizer, and they're literally growing hydroponically at that point, or aquaponically, if you want to look at it that way. Let's see here. I started watching you when you did video testing rocks that you find in local rivers. Oh, right on. Like 7 years ago when that video came out, or is that the one you used to find me? Either way, rad. I appreciate it. Mick posted a Discord invite. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. And we still don't have likes matching the watching curve, but that's okay. I'll forgive y'all. Adam Waller, hey buddy, good to see you. We'll try to do a morning stream one of these days, because I feel bad for everybody who misses them all the time too. Glad to see a live chat. Love the work you do. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Mike. You're the best channel in my opinion. Well, thank you. I think I am the best channel in my opinion. Now, in other people's opinion, I am terrible. I am terrible. No, actually, one of the next things I really need to do is have about $1,000 a month or $1,500 a month to buy those services where you can use B-roll that's 4K, and you type in apistogramma with babies, and there's like 4 options. There are a couple really high-end ones that share like collective rights, and they're very expensive, and you have to have a subscription. There's other ones you can pay like $120 for a 30-second clip. I don't make anything near that. I make at best lately, I've been making maybe $2,000 a month US dollars before taxes, and that's through all of the super chats. That's through the memberships, and you guys, a third of the income is membership. So again, thank you. It means the world to me to have your support, and it lets me keep doing this. Even though I was making this much 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and YouTube has just cracked down and crunched down and bitten away at the pie that we are supposed to be sharing. If there's a way to tell dwarf sage from dwarf chain plant, I'd like to get some more, but I don't know which. I don't know. I don't actually know that. I'm sorry. I don't know if there's a good way to tell. It's same with like Valsinaria. I didn't know I had red tiger val till I put it in a tank with CO2 and highlight. I've had it for 8 years, and I forgot totally that was that kind of val, because it just looks like green val in every tank I've had it in, even in most highlight tanks. Thanks, heavyweight champ. You like that history of the beta video? I need to do a history of the beta update, like what's gone on in the last 50 years in breeding, because it's very interesting. But yeah, Pisces, that Danzig reference is beautiful. Wait, what do we start watching? Because in the midnight hour, I got mo. Yeah. With a rebel yell. It's Billy Idol. I know that. Somebody said, I like the Danzig reference, and then somebody else said it's Billy Idol. But yes, it's all good. It's all love. We all like singing on this channel. That's why they're here. They're really not here for the fish. It's really for my beautiful singing. And I don't know if you guys are diehard Freddie Mercury fans. What are you doing over there, loud lady? Jeez, she's cooking, she's throwing stuff. She's literally got a bottle full of pills, allergy pills, and she's like she's Cher or something, or one of the mamas and the papas, whichever one just played the tambourine and did nothing else. Actually, they all sang. Alex, I would love to see a color planted tank content, because all green is not all mean. I would be curious, is there a way to sort of empirical evidence about the decline of betta hardiness in the past 10 to 20 years? I would also be curious about that. I've been trying to find better research on that, but there is good data now. And actually, there's good data from about 2015. So maybe it's about 10 years. If they do another study on like the optimal shipping conditions for bettas, which they have funded several times those studies on a lot of fish, because they want to know, like for guppies, for bettas, for common species, like what is the best way to ship them across seas when it's going to take 2 to 3 days, and it could be longer than overnight. And there is like a actual method laid out by several universities of the best way to do this, and governments have subsidized these studies, and they did that for bettas. But in that, they have like the average lifespan, the average like cortisol stress levels and stuff. So they monitored a lot of stuff. And I think that could be used as the baseline for the past. Now, if they're going to pay for another study in the future or when that happens, I will let you know. But that's why I'm always reading those papers. And yes, performing a meta-analysis. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Well, good night, Mick. You have a good one, buddy. Are you going to grow a stash? I don't know. Probably. Probably because I'm lazy. Like I have one right now. It's just blonde. I'm a really, my hair up top is brown, but in the summer it gets pretty blonde if I'm outside a lot. And it's like this clearish taupe color. It's a really terrible color. It's almost like gray, but it's clear. It's like a clear blonde. So unless it's really dense or long, you don't really see it. Like here, you don't really see this, but there's enough that like I could twist it in like one layer of braids. Florida girl here. Good night. Heal fast. Thank you, Kristen Cooper, and welcome yet again. Cassandra, good night, y'all. Good night to you too. Good night, everyone. And I was gonna say we're gonna end it on the same note that we started on. What? But this time, because I don't care if they demonetize me, they demonetized my post the other night, which makes me so mad because I put up a post warning you guys that my ketamine and I'll say it like the Brits, ketamine and esketamine and Zebra-Danios video and depression got limited monetization. Then it got demonetized. Then it got put back to limited. I don't know what's going on. But what happened is I took a screenshot because when I uploaded it, it automatically showed up as limited monetization. And I put an update post saying, haha, guys, I hope I don't get kicked off YouTube. And if I do, here's the proof that they were already limiting my post. I don't know if you guys can see that. Limiting my, is it too bright or not bright enough? Let's see. I don't know. Here we go. And I posted this in my community post, and they deleted it without saying anything to me. They just took down the screenshot and the whole post saying, if I'm not here tomorrow, guys, it's because of this, if I get punished or whatever. That made me mad that they got rid of and slash, like they must have. There's no sign of it, and even a few people responded to it. So that really frustrated me. And I am gonna jump in on the honey deal, by the way, because there's literally a couple $1,000s that they took from me by stealing codes that were our community codes, and they applied them for everyone. And then sponsors said, well, we're not giving you guys any credit for that. And that's how I got gift certificates to give back to you guys in the past. And so without that, I didn't get the store credit commission to get the gift certificates. So I was very frustrated at certain times with that. And Honey then also tried to use my referrals and then say, look, we referred this many people by putting up a third-party cookie screen in between my codes for a while. And right now they're laying low, so you can still use my codes and it should be okay. But yeah. Alex, you two be watching me more than anyone you know. They don't like you. I know, Johnny. I know they don't particularly like me for some reason. I do think that the fact that two big people in the hobby have had, yes, Legal Eagle is who I filed my claim with for a class action lawsuit against Honey. Yeah. They're thinking it's several $billion that they've actually profited from in total, the way they do things illegally. Which, I mean, there's illegal components, and then there's shady components. The shady components are more common, but the illegal components I have proof of as well. So that's why I hopped in and I wrote them an email about it. Yeah, them being like, look, we referred 900 customers to your site, and they said with this code, and it was my code that they just stole because somebody who had the app Honey typed it in, and so then it applied it to everyone because that was the best code it knew of. Well, then I didn't get the attribution for it, and then when they did try to use the code, of course, the affiliate that I was working with at Aquatic Arts at the time, a different owner, was like, you go from referring like 40 people to like 900. That's like half our customers. And I was like, no, I don't know what happened. And so instead of getting some crazy check, we just stopped doing things the way we did them for a long time. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here. And hopefully the next video, maybe the fish that I think will be trending, popular, hot to go, as Chapel Roan would say, in 2025. The year 2525, if anyone is still left alive. But we're going to end where we began with the get down, make live, get down, make live, get down. Okay, the real lyrics are get down, make love, in case you didn't know. There is a weird Freddie Mercury song on that album with the big metal robot and the like weird foreshortening perspective. Can't remember the name of that album, but it's the like We Will Rock You and We're the Champions album. I'm pretty sure it's not Night at the Opera. And then the song Get Down Make Love from 1977 was a really hardcore song that Freddie Mercury wrote. And then 9 Inch Nails covered it in 1992, I want to say, and did a really hardcore version. It is not work or family appropriate, by the way. But if you like industrial music and pop music and all, or Freddie Mercury or 9 Inch Nails, and you don't know that track, it's not on any CDs that I know of. Check it out. But it goes, get down, make love, get down, make love, get down, make love. And it's got all these like crazy machine noises, and it's like, every time I get high, everybody gets low. Every time I get up, everybody goes down. Every time I want it enough, you want it too much. Wait, what's up? Yeah. So, anyways, get down, make love, get down, make live streams. That's the edit for here. But that's what the thumbnail is about, and that's what the title is about. Guys, I hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you so much, Super Chatters, members, Johnny, who else do we have? Philip Skipper, buddy. Morwina, thank you. And I mean, there's too many people to thank tonight. I mean, thank you all for things you've done in the past too. But thanks for being here with me. Hopefully Friday, everything will be okay and my leg won't fall off or anything. And maybe I'll do a morning stream one of these mornings if I have the time and my leg doesn't fall off or anything. All right. Take care, and I will see you later, losers. Whatever. Okay, I gotta go clean up cat diarrhea all over my walls. You're too late, Stephen P. Get out! Get out!